Alright, video started. It's just easier to upload doing this stuff. Because then I just take the video. It's already on YouTube. Just goes right in. Internet's good and it's all connected. It's nice. God is not about an end goal of equality, per se. His end goal is, yes, that all would be made alive. That's baseline. That's obvious. Because the God of life needs to be making alive and being alive and sustaining and constituting in order to be God. You can't say you're a subjector. You can't say you're a father. You can't say you're anything. God is a subjector. He subjects himself to be called Father. God was not a father when Christ did not exist. That's why the eons are important, because it's the severance of time. No time, God all in himself. Time, the eons. No time, God all in all. You don't need time once God is all in all. You don't need space once God is all in all. And yet it will have come into creation, us, into being, us, Christ, because we are made in the image of Christ. And we are not yet aware of our image, who we are, until God shows us. That's just, it's basics, people. No one knows these things until God unveils it to you. And sometimes he does it through a person like me. Sometimes he does it through a book. Sometimes he does it through a song. Sometimes he does it through realization that as he brings it. He always does it as he brings it. And there are so many who are not going to believe in this life, and yet they will be made alive. And that is not God's end goal, to just make people alive. Because in this world, we could say that we are alive, and yet we're dying to die. Our realization is an expectation of life, which separates us from all of creation. Separates us from every dog, every human, every bird, every serpent, every creature, every flying beast, everything that crawls. There's people who say things like, oh, I don't think mosquitoes are in the all in all. Of course they are. If we're going to talk about daisies and flowers and roses, I don't know about that. And even then, they take our oxygen and they breathe it in a way, becoming food, and then regurgitating it back out as something we can use. It has a breath. Is every blade of grass considered by God? Ooh, it comes from a seed. But does that mean a fruit is a creature? I'd say the fruit is the actual goodness. I don't have an opinion to say that every apple will be in heaven, but maybe it will be, because it sustained us. But that's not death and dying, because God in the garden gave Adam to eat of every tree except for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And so he did not kill the fruit, he ate the fruit. Fruit perishes, it does not die. Maybe it doesn't even perish. You guys need to look up the definition. That's important. It's imperative. I don't know the exact definition on imperative, but I believe that it is necessary. It is crucial. We are crucial. It's not crucial without you. God is looking to make everyone alive. That is so simple. That is a given. Even an atheist who would look at God and say, if God doesn't make everyone alive, then he's not God. And it's like, well, that's what God does. And their answer is, well, or their response or their retaliation may not be to come to an understanding now, because maybe it's not yet in God's timing. Imagine a script where everyone who really is a celebrity gets a check mark, but no one sees the check mark in this life. Like Twitter, you get a check mark next to your name. Instagram, you get a check mark next to your name if you're of status, if you're somebody. There's people who have check marks who have no followers. There's people who have check marks who don't even really matter in the sense of they're not really saying anything. They're not really an example of anything other than the flesh. And that's everybody. Everybody's an example of the flesh. That's the thing. You can watch a movie, you can listen to a song and tell when you don't like a certain part or when you like a part more than another. You have favor, you have interest, you have a desire to hear something more of that or expect more of that. It's like going and seeing the same band at a concert 10 times. They might play the same song 10 times, but you experienced it 10 different times. One time each, you experienced it linearly from A to B to C to D to F to G. That's one adventure, but it's also each of those adventures allotted. Sorry, it's above my phone. Allotted a time, allotted a space to exist. Now imagine an allotment among the celestials that is a city, that is a council of creatures, that is just like there's people here who have opinions. Like, I don't really have much political oomph in me to like really dive in and figure out what's going on around me. It's just not of my interest, and yet I know that these things affect me. There are laws on the road that affect people constantly. Imagine a world where they only made cars to go as fast as the fastest speed limit sign in the world. Let's say it's 70 miles an hour, or kilometers per hour. That's like, I don't know, 110, 120, 90, I don't know. 160, somebody knows. But anyways, it's a difference. Imagine everything is governed out. Imagine everyone's born with 2 arms and 2 hands and 2 feet, and there's a lot of people that aren't. Like when my kid came out, born with all of his nads intact and everything, I was like, oh, he's how I expected him to be, and yet I still had those like, what if he wasn't? And it's like, that's not reality. And yet for some people that is reality, and God makes an example of each to glorify himself. Your story is individual and different, and at a different level of intention by God to tell the story of Christ. Because without your experience, absolutely, he is not God. Because he is the subjector. God subjects each creature, each being. God subjected Christ to even doubt the Father was really even around. Father, are you forsaken me? I want to know what he said. What he said, like literally, when he was nailed to a Roman stake. I want to know what Christ actually said when he was crucified. I want to go back there in a vivified body and experience every aspect of it and know by God, the heart of God, and the darkness that he put his son into. And God is not his son. God endured putting away his son in such a dark place that I just imagine blackness and then the hilltop of Golgotha and Christ nailed, whipped, stabbed, or speared, lanced, spat on, given a crown of thorns, bloody. Air in his lungs, breath of God, spirit in him, blood pulsing through his veins, out of his body, like literally Christ had to bleed out. The life force, if there's no blood in the body, then he's dead. And we will be given spirit in replacement of blood. I don't know about our organs. I assume our organs have a purpose, and when they're given spirit, they're going to operate perfectly. And we'll be able to eat, drink, play, make music, create, live, be as God has intended us to be. Whereas right now we have disease, we have crappy food, we have bad air quality, we have some people have better air quality. That's the thing. People living around the world, people have different experiences altogether. And that is for the purpose of glorifying God. If God is one, he's capital O, one. And Christ suffered, and Christ is glorified above every name. He goes deeper than every name, even Honda. Christ even dies for Honda. Really, he dies for God. Christ dies that God would be satisfied with humanity. God separates himself from humanity for some time, relatively. We don't experience it. Because God just corners us off. It's very easy for him. It's like shutting the door on a baby. They are not going to get out. But it's so much more different than that, because God is not human. God is not like us. God is the subjector. He is not a human at all. Paul says to somebody, the Thessalonians maybe, Thessalonica, he's like, they make God to be an image of a corruptible man or a serpent or a beast. Quadrupeds. They make God in the image of all these things that they experience, that they can see. They can believe because they see it. It's really not belief. It's sureness to see something, but to see things not with the eyes, not with the senses, to know something. I think that's more true than anything our senses could ever experience in this life. The sureness of what a good apple tastes like, or hot soup, or salt, or hot sauce. God calls each of us. Some people don't ever taste anything at all. Some people are born and they die immediately. Some people die before they even get out of the womb. We don't even know what time is. We don't even know when we begin. And yet God knows us before we existed at all. And that's peace to me, because I existentially can't handle the thought of myself in the world. But God places me, and that makes sense. The world doesn't seem that big at that point. It's like everywhere I go, the people who would want to love me, kill me, hate me, build me up, give me a place to eat, sleep, drink, live, die, any of that. It's all of God. And it's not these people. People don't kill people. God kills people. People murder people. God does not murder people. God takes the life force of people. It's his life force. It's his spirit. The breath. Christ was not even dead yet. And he was saying, Father, why have you forsaken me? I want to know what that means. I need to do a study on that. That would be very nice. Or if someone wants to comment that below, we can skip the study and or I can get the reference. Go from there. Just talk about words. Words are important. Especially words that fit and are concise. I've grown up with a lot of nonsense. I used to think nonsense was so funny. I still do. I still think nonsense is hilarious. It's like, it doesn't make sense. It's not gonna make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. It's just funny. And if people ever feel targeted or isolated or small or disregarded or disrespected, one, don't go looking for respect from people. Be a respecter of God, not men. Paul says that at some point. It doesn't mean be disrespectful. It just means don't look for people to be right or sure or full. It's just, there's a lot of empty people out there. There's a lot of half full cups out there. Nobody's got a share more than what Christ had, honestly. I'm sure there's some men, especially throughout Israel, Abraham, there's a lot of men that were given a lot of faith. Shit, Martin said that. He's like, I've got a lot of faith. Ask me if you need any. I got tons to go around. I'm like, yeah, I feel you. At the same time, I have some doubts that are insane. But the things that make the most sense after all these terrible, horrible, horrific, misguided experiences that I've had, knowing it was all God, it's made sense. Because it goes, he can make sense of it even if I can't understand yet, or right now, or if I don't need to dwell on things that have happened and just learn from them. Put things together. not just have them there, pieced up, not being useful. Like, I have a lot of cruise things. I'm gonna show you guys all the cruise things I have to do. Here's the heat press, covered in crap. New board. Whole box of shirts. This here. Little Cricut. Cuts the vinyl. Bunch of vinyl. Oh, koozies. Bunch of vinyl. More boxes of clothes. More boxes of clothes. A sewing machine. Embroidery machine. Levi doing some sweet painting stuff. Just all the colors. It is beautiful work. Bunch of shirts. Bunch of shirts. And more shirts. More shirts. And direct-to-film blanks. Or some artwork. The cherry skulls. Sweatshirts. Shirts. What am I doing? I want people to buy these shirts. I want to do it effectively. I don't want to charge a bunch of money. I don't want to make a bunch of money, but I gotta make some money. I gotta live a little and have this stuff, running its own thing. Cruise without you is just not cruise. And that's what I've learned. That's what I've experienced. That's what I've realized to be true, guys. You guys are absolutely crucial. If I can get people shirts that are like affordable and good, and they make you feel crucial and remind you that you are, that's the plan. I'm gonna make some more sweatshirts like this. I ordered some black hoodie sweatshirts. I don't know if I ordered any crew necks, but I ordered some tan colored crew necks that I'm gonna put the cherry skulls on, and tan colored sweatshirts, or they're like off-white or gray, or I don't know. They're nice. Anyways, look at Levi's art. I'm satisfied with what God has done through Christ. I'm satisfied with everything to a point where I just become a insufferable, meticulous dickhead who's not doing his own thing, but will criticize other people doing their thing. And I need to stop doing that. I need to just be more of a man and just talk the gospel, make my shit, move on with it. I don't like dwelling on old shit. I don't like it, guys. I don't like thinking about things that especially don't make sense when I think about them. It's another thing to really look at your life and be happy that you have this understanding. Because if you didn't have the understanding of grace, I don't know what pulls you through, but it's something. For me, I would have Forrest. Even then, that would be so difficult. He's such a crucial kid, but without the belief in God, I don't think I'd be as willing to live without my son. He's absolutely crucial. If I could do anything, it would be for him. I'd like to assume that my allotment has something that's going to involve Forrest. Whether he's a believer or not, it'll involve him in a way that God knows my heart. He knows people I care about. He knows what we're going to be doing for the eons. He knows what we're going to do, what we will be doing after the eons themselves. Before the eons it was just him. He was content. Now imagine him being content and happy that his kids are home. Every single one of us. Even Honda. Dude. Even Forrest. Your kids. Your parents. Everyone who has ever lived. Adam and Eve. Paul. Jesus. all will be together. All will be made one with God. God is already perfect, has always been perfect. We have to be broken in order to realize that perfection matters, that words matter, that there's something to say and there's something to listen to. And we hear a lot of crap, and there's a lot of lies, there's a lot of bullshit, there's a lot of insanity in the world. But you ever try to stop someone from, like, giving into hearing some stupid shit? Because you're like, I know where this goes. And then sometimes you're just like, I'll let them experience it. I think both are necessary. I've had so many deja vu moments where it's like, okay, I can just live this out. I'm not gonna worry. This is as solid as concrete. This is as hard as granite. Life is more real than the hardest diamond, or whatever the most dense thing. God's glory, Christ's glory, is greater than the noonday sun. And that's just light. Light is just one example of beauty and love and understanding and life. But what's more than that is home. What's light without something to exist for? Like, the thing about Christ, the thing about God, is they are not equals. We are not equals to them. If we were, none of this would really matter. Because we'd all just know everything. I think people think that. I'm going to be one with God. I'm going to... not writing stuff. I'm just anticipating knowing Christ, knowing God, and seeing what God has in store for us, to just finally be able to relax, to finally just be at peace in a way that's not disrupted by the soul. It's like, I've had times of euphoria. I've had experiences of bliss and moments of what feels like perfection. And God has given me over God has given me over to it so few times. But it was so true that it was like, it felt like I wasn't being lied to, and I could trust that. And it wasn't the experience I was trusting, it was that God is God. It was always the thought of, like, I don't have control. Self-control, a fruit of the Spirit, to be made autonomous in the eyes of God and have control over who we are, and yet know that God will always be God. It's not free will, people. It's a story so grandiose that we play the part because we are the part. We are one of many. Like I said, your story is unique, and your story is different than everyone else for a purpose. If it was the same, it wouldn't be that spectacular. If you knew everything that was going to happen, it wouldn't be that important. People say that's a far-fetched thought to say if we knew everything. Well, people think they're worthy to know all things. That's just not possible. It's just not possible, not right now. Not in this condition where we can't even remember what we ate 3 days ago for breakfast. Some of us have a planner, like, oh, let me go get my planner. No, you don't remember. You don't remember. Just because you wrote it down doesn't mean you remember. But even then, that's important. Literature, the way words get brought about, presented, given to one another. Words. If all these guitar strings play the exact same note all the time, it probably wouldn't be that interesting. But just one change, and God not being changed, it's like God's the whole guitar. And what we experience, we all just have a few notes here and there. Part of an orchestra, part of a song, continuation of sound. God didn't need the example of sound and guitar to be satisfied with what he knows to be true. And then he has made the likes of Jimi Hendrix. He has made the likes of Vikings who beat on drums as they row into a shore to conquer a whole village. There's levels here. And the thing that God's doing with Christ is a melody that cannot be copied, and yet we will be made as that is, as Christ is. If Christ is a power chord, then we're like, and this is you, and that's me. Compliments. Christ is our head. We are going to be made as he is. God is the head of Christ. We will always be looking to Christ to see God. And once we are as Christ is, our very vision, I think, will be as Christ is. I don't know if any other creature gets that necessarily, but we'll never forget. Maybe for the eons. We'll never forget. We'll be vivified as Christ is. It's like we will be seeing as Christ is, believing as Christ is, knowing God as Christ knows God. So we have to experience all of this not knowing God stuff in the world. The world not giving a shit about God. Even the people who claim it the most, they don't have any clue that their church paid salary is made on lies of God. I wonder, there's got to be a few churches out there, like congregations of people that like pay people to be there, who are like actually telling the truth about God. Or maybe pastors do it by accident sometimes, and people just go, huh, what's that? Huh? Oh, nothing, okay. What up, Sean? Hi, Catherine. Love you too. So, we have this expectation. We have this reality that's in front of us. We just have not yet experienced it. It's true. It's like we have to get through the entire scale of all that's going. We should hook up a dual guitars. Yeah, we should do both guitars. Dude, I'd shred with you. Yeah, dude. Love you, Sean. We'd be fun to jam. I would add you guys in this. I just don't know how to do that. I don't know if I can do that on YouTube. But I'm just on my phone. Oh, this is the one you were talking about? Yeah, I'm going to make a few more of these. It's just like a Gildan sweatshirt, but this vinyl is awesome, isn't it? Very neat. I like the colors too. Oh, I just showed earlier in the video, but I have boxes of sweatshirts and clothing that I'm ready to press. I have a heat press and an embroidery machine down here, a sewing machine. Oh, yeah, I get really hyped and go really hard, but I need to be consistent. And so that's something I want to start doing more. Oh, dude, I'm excited to make this. Keep making these. Yeah. There's such a difference. Christ is vivified now. I wonder if he could see down like us doing this stuff, just hanging out. Like he's in the YouTube live, but just he's like got some VR goggles on or something at the right hand of God. He's like, hey God, you should see this. This is pretty sweet. So he's right here. So we've got an expectation that's so crucial. We got a reality that's so defined in front of us. We will rule and reign among the celestials. All of us will reconcile. Yeah, I need to get this thing fixed. It's got I broke this when I was a child. I just kept loosening it and it fell off inside. But there's, I don't know if you can still see, there's still the system in there to make it electric. I think putting some gain on this would be fun. That's what this is, like a, what is it, Fender Model F15. I've played this guitar like my whole life. Still don't know how to play it. Yeah, dude, Catherine, once you learn like basic chords, like an E major, I play this thing everywhere, and then just slide it up and down the neck. Another one, the really common one is a D. It's like the 2nd fret, 3rd. Put your index finger on the 3rd string, ring finger on the top E string, and then I think ring finger on the D. You can just slide it. That's all. All I know how to do on guitar is like play chords and just slide them around. It's like all I like to do. There's the G, the bass G string, ring finger or middle finger, index finger, 2nd string down, 2nd fret. Skip the next 2 strings, they're open. And then this is like for a different kind of G. The 3rd fret of the last 2 strings. Or it's commonly played the other way. Yeah, dude, I wish I knew how to play piano. Piano is sweet. E and then F come later. D, C, G. D, C. Skip that top string. 2nd string down is on the 3rd fret. Ring finger. Middle finger. 2nd fret, 3rd string. Skip a string, open, and then your 2nd from the bottom, not this one, this one. It's a common way to play a C, or the other way, kind of like the G. You do the same 2 strings. You can do that with G and C. I don't know that guy's name. What's that guy's name? Robbie something. Matchbox 20. confused with real life. Sick. I made a song. Love you, Sean. Love you, Catherine. Love you, whoever else joined in here. We just made a song. I'm gonna have to go back to like minute 440 or like 38 or something like that. I made a song. Organic lyrics. E is like the best. E major. I don't know, I just love playing it. To me, it's the best. So the third string from the top. Nope, fourth string. So from the bottom. First fret, and then the two strings on top. Play the second fret. If you ever hear me playing guitar, I'm probably playing that chord. It's like so full because you can. This is open. Just rings nice. You can get really funky with it because there's like a lot of minors and majors, but it's like all. It's an E major, so it's like it's always got a positive slide to it. I couldn't mess up playing with that. A, E, G, D. A, E, G, D. I'd like to get a baritone guitar. That would be nice. Baritone guitar would be like a way heavier strings, usually different tuning. I discovered this song, this note, Sean. I play it a lot. Do like an E major form, and just go up, and slide it up one. I don't know why. It's heavy, and it's like dissonant, and it's like good to like kind of come out of. Those are the four strings, so it's those three with an open. like sunset beachy vibes, like you're gonna go to sleep, but you know you got a solid place to rest your head. But when you come out of it, it doesn't really sound like anything else. I don't know what it is. That's E. E sharp. A. No, that's A. So it's an A. It's those two together. Maybe it's just on this guitar. It sounds like it's like muffled, or like it can't occupy the same space, so they become very dull. If it was like this, like power chord. What if I do that? That'd be difficult. Might be out of tune. I don't know. I always come back to E major. Anyways, our expectation in Christ is freaking sweet, dude. I have no idea what to do in a world so dull all the time. Dude. uh, I'm glad you guys are here. I wish I knew how to put you guys in here. Do you have to do that through like StreamYard? Is that what that is? You have to like go to StreamYard and then hook up your YouTube. Dude, this place is the filthy rag. It's like after an oil change, it's what you use to clean up the oil, and then you don't want to use that rag anymore. So, okay, go to StreamYard. Thank you, Catherine. Because I have to figure out how to do that. It'd be cool to have you guys jump in here. I could end it and then do that, but I actually need to do some stuff. I have considered, I've thought about, like, you guys know what Martin does every single day. 5 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. Well, usually 7 days a week, he's doing stuff that involves the body of Christ, which is gnarly. Yeah, fellowship would be sweet. I thought about doing a live, like, every single day at a certain time. Or, I mean, spontaneous. I don't know. But, like, somehow get, like, a notification sent out to people, like, an hour in advance or something. I don't know. I don't want to be, like, all churchy about it. But I just, like, you can do it on Messenger. Yeah. Like, it does, yeah, it doesn't always have to be, like, if I can somehow just get a connection going. I think StreamYard, if that's what Ace does, Ace can get, like, 8 or 10 people in a chat at a time. That would be sweet. I'd like to do that and just talk. Like, make it about Christ. Yeah, our lives are involved in that too, because that's who we are. StreamYard. Okay, so I'll do StreamYard sometime, guys. But I want to, like, get, maybe there's a way I can say put notifications on for my videos or something, or for the lives, and then I'll go to StreamYard, and it'll, like, if I go live, it should, like, notify you guys. Like, have notifications on for some accounts, and what it does is it like nudges your phone or whatever that someone's live. I should kind of do that. I should, like, make a video saying, I've thought about making, like, a fun video. Yeah, Honda's right here. Hi, Honda. Say hi, Honda. Hey, what's up, Catherine? Hello, Sean. You can't get down because the guitar's in the way? No, it's not. Well, good boy. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna probably make, like, a little funny promo video or something where I just don't want to sound or seem like a church that's, like, of the world. Just want to be funny. Just have a good time. If it's my space that I've created where I can shut down or whatever, I like how people who run one, you trust people to, you know, conduct themselves, and, you know, all of us get irritated and lose our shit every now and then, but just hold each other accountable, because it's not, I've fellowshipped with enough of you guys to know that we're not trying to impress each other. We're not trying to put each other down, and if we are, it's probably something of the flesh or the soul that's, like, just needing to be let out, because we're in a comfortable space with believers, but it's also irritating that we can't just, like, you know, go be vivified. So we all get we all get bummed out. We all get burnt out. We all get to the edge of our soulish experience where we just have to let shit out, and sometimes we'll let it out on people. I've been doing that sometimes in my life, and it's not healthy. It's not good. But luckily, God makes people to love me or put me in my place when I need it. That's the kind of love that I need, is stern love. Like, I love you. This is obvious. This is true. I love you. That's the kind of God I want to know, is the God who's like, I love you, Seth. You are mine. That's it. It's so simple. Not like anything this world ever taught me God would be. We're going to be a groove among the Celestials, brother. We're going to rock their mother-frickin' Celestial socks off. And if they don't have socks, we're going to put socks on them just to knock them off. That's what I say. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good to be home. The Celestial Realm is not going to be violent return. It's not going to be an overbearing of, like we know that humans are going to be reconciled. All of them through Christ. Just the same, every spiritual being will be reconciled, and they won't have to be punished. I think a warm embrace, a hug of love to a spiritual being and my spiritual body will be enough. Just my appearance, your appearance, Christ's appearance, the body, the head, all there, all one, reconciling creatures to be like God loves you and wants you. So does that mean that these creatures will be reconciled before all are raised at the consummation of all in all? Yes. Isn't that amazing? God is very merciful with his spiritual beings. I don't think he'll reconcile all of them immediately. I think it's going to be like over a course of a period of time. I think when God is reconciling spiritual beings through us among the celestials, the fifth eon has no time explanation because what we're going to be doing is going to seem timeless, so perfectly in order, just like we were taken in order. Like someone believing this truth for 20 years longer than someone else has no forbearance on who God has called them to be. It doesn't make them any less important. It's like when Paul says, does the hand say to the foot or the eye to the mouth or whatever it is, that it's like anything is not as important as the other. You couldn't have a car with not all the parts. You wouldn't sell a car that way. You could sell a chassis, you could sell some wheels, you could sell some brakes, but it's not really a car unless it's all there. Like, the body of Christ is not yet complete in realization yet. The dead are not yet roused. What's so spectacular about the body of Christ being complete at the right hand of God now in the form of prolepsis, or like God considering something that we cannot yet witness and experience. It's not so true that it defies human understanding and reality in accordance with what we have to experience through time. God sees us complete through Christ. That's his say. That's his perspective. Our perspective is not yet without the necessity for faith and belief. And it's Christ's faith that God makes us believe. So it's nothing of us. It's something that's given to us that we did not obtain. And someone for 20 years in the truth, someone for 2 days in the truth, each of them are given a realization of who Christ is. An actual believer, not a feigned believer, not anyone that's peddling another gospel, not anyone or anything that's Honda. Pat from Sister Kathy. Say what's up. Say what's up. He's a good boy. I need to end this live soon. It's almost an hour. So God is not equal. God is not giving to each the same dispensation of conciliation. There are many who don't receive it, so that just shows that God is not an equal opportunity God. He gives some to be in wheelchairs, and he gives some to be playing in the NBA. He gives some to be women, some to be men, some to be this and that, these and those. And God is calling it all in accordance with the might and the wisdom of his will. Everything, every single thing is figured out, and we think that we're doing something. God gives us the illusion of control. Better yet, he gives control over to us, knowing that what we are doing is what he has placed in us to do, a desire. And that desire may change throughout time and life. What's wrong with Honda? Inarticulate groaning in the spirit. That, or he didn't pee enough earlier and he's got to pee more now. I might have to get him food and water. I got to end this live here in a minute. But it's been nice. Next time I'll figure out StreamYard. It's a good time. It's a good time to be alive, because if I were dead, I wouldn't be alive. What we have in expectation is beyond anything we could ever experience in this world, and yet we do experience good things in this world. We do experience what God has in store for us in the future in regards to 5 minutes from now, and 5 months from now, and 5 years, and the conclusion of the 5 eons. God knows where we're supposed to be. He doesn't forget. He doesn't. Oh, no leftovers in God's fridge. Yeah, you keep saying that, Sean, because it's true. God eats it all up. We have an expectation that is otherworldly. It's out of this. It's out of this understanding of anything of the earth. Anything the spiritual beings have ever seen, they don't understand it. God's 24 elders, they've never experienced it. I believe we're all I believe all of God's creatures, including Christ, including the 24 elders, including fucking Frodo and Gandalf the Grey. Every single creature is subject to time and space, even Christ, so that we would know that we just have to believe God, because God can be at the end now. God has brought a few people into future times. Paul to the third heaven, which is had to do with time, probably in the 4th or 5th eon. 5th eon? I think it's 5th eon. And he brought John to Revelation, which is like going to happen soon. The unveiling of Christ is what it's really called. It's what Revelation means. It's a unveiling of Christ. Oh, Christ is going to touch his feet to the Mount of Olives, and earth will finally have peace. With a rod of iron, he's going to go rule. King David in his place. There's be some badass motherfuckers roused from the dead in Israel, and we're going to know them as Christ knows them. We'll be acquainted. Well, it's like being in a crowd of people and everyone knows you better than they know anyone else there. That's what we're going to be, guys. And in this world, we don't feel that. We feel alienated. We feel disclosed. We feel put off. We feel a lot of things. The thing that we have is that realization that the disconnect we have now, which is like we can't really talk to people about the things that we always want to talk about, which is Paul. I mean, we can, but people would put us away a lot. And there are interesting things in this life, and God works for us to speak the truth opportunely and inopportunely. I don't think that it's a fear of talking too much about Christ with people or anything like that. It's like you wouldn't want to be around a mechanic who talks about cars all the time. A mechanic who works on cars, has his time or her time, and works on cars in their free time. They come in for dinner, and everything's about nuts and bolts and transmission fluid and this and that. I'm just like, dude, I just want to eat food. Like, it's nice to know that people are excited about stuff, but people who are fanatics, they need variety in their life. I get to be a fanatic about people, and I'm like, I need to create things for people because I love people. I want people to know they're crucial. I got cool stuff to make. The blinders on Israel are coming off like the gloves. Oh yeah, Israel is heinous. The Israel that claims to be Israel, that is not Israel, they're gross. They suck. But the Israel that's true and is scattered among the nations. Yeah, I gotta get Honda some food. Also gotta put my groceries away. I left them out like an hour ago. God knows exactly who he needs to do what. I think about this, and this might come out of left field for y'all. Whoa. But like, I've had a porn addiction most of my life. I hate it. I'd rather just make love to a woman. But the thing is, I can't do that because the person I'm with isn't ready for that. So I just don't do it. And I'm trying not to be addicted to porn. But then again, it's unfulfilling. Like, it's not like I see it as like a sin anymore. I just see it as like a waste of time. It's like if I were to just keep smoking cigarettes. Like, if I smoked one and I didn't like it, why would I keep smoking it again? Don't get me wrong, I like boobies, but it's like unreal how much something can take up your time. And when you realize it does, it makes me go, telling me I can do other stuff in that time. And it's like, that's just absolutely the way it goes for our relative experience. I'm not going to be addicted to porn on them in the Celestials. I don't consider myself addicted to porn now. I'm just that boring of a person, just that lame of a person, and that useless of a guy sometimes. That becomes almost like entertainment, like watching YouTube or being obsessed with working out or being obsessed with eating all the time. Like anything that's just done so overbearingly, like taking up so much of your time. Like if you could replace that with church and call that person a good Christian for going to church that much, stop doing that thing so much. Because you know how churches get. They're like, our congregation. It doesn't really matter who's there on Sunday. It doesn't really matter who's there on the holidays. It matters who's there on Saturday. It matters who's there on Wednesday and Friday and Monday and Tuesday and every fucking day of the week. But I won't cuss because I'm a good man. I'm a pastor. It's like, no. If you're doing something that much, you gotta stop. Working on the actual truth drives me crazy after a little while. I'm just drinking water. Talking about the truth too much, I just realized, like, all the time, I'm pulled back to my soul of, like, you're in this world, you're animated dirt, and I'm like, dude, this world sucks. This world fucking blows. And yet, it's a beautiful place that God puts life into, to a degree, to make us realize that this ain't life, baby. This ain't the end goal. Not for anybody. If you think that building a kingdom here is worth a shit, I'm not saying don't make money. I'm not saying don't make a living for yourself. I'm not saying hate your life. I'm saying realize that this life ain't shit compared to what we're coming into, the celestial realm. And that's for the eons. Imagine after the eons. That's what it's really about. All in all, when every creature is made alive, the eons are going to be a good time. But know this to be true. It's not like the concert ends and their after party is worse than the concert. The concert is the oncoming eons for the body of Christ. We're going to be on the stage. We're going to be performing with Christ, doing our thing, reconciling. Israel has their place. They're like the managers. They're like the stage managers. They're in charge of the lights. They're in charge of all the pretties. We're just putting out the vibration. We're putting out the sound. We're telling the truth. They're the ones with the microphone. Like, listen to these guys. They know more than we do. The crowd is everyone else. The ocean of people that are going to be made alive beyond the reach of death. Animals. And guess what? They're going to sing along in the crowd, know every word, be part of it. And that's going to be so beautiful to hear every creature. The rocks will cry out. If no one cries out, the rocks will cry out. What does that mean about rocks? Oh, are rocks living, breathing creatures, man? Or is that a metaphor of just like God is God and he'll make people cry out if he wants them to make them cry out, even if they're not people, bruh? That's how cool God is. God can be like, you guys are so stupid. You humans are so fucking stupid, but I love you. It's like looking at a freshly born baby and being like, you can't drive a car, you're stupid. I'd be like, I love you for that because I get to teach you. And God gives to us to be teachers, to children, to little ones. I just gotta end this live stream. I'm gonna do StreamYard sometime. Yeah. I'm gonna make a little promo video. Be like, hey, I'm gonna do this every now and then. Jump on in! I won't be mocking God, but I'm gonna use some comedy. Love you guys. Stay crucial. Sean, Catherine, whoever else is there. Love you guys. No rocking good time in the back. Oh, it'll always be. We're always rocking. That's the thing about rock and roll, is it's always rocking. It's always rolling. Even with the rests in between, the rest notes that may last for days, months, years, a millennia. It's always crucial. It's always crucial. All right. Stay crucial, y'all. Love you.